The NBA season ended for the Golden State Warriors earlier than expected, leaving a bitter taste that has yet to be overcome. The elimination in the Western Conference semifinals by the Minnesota Timberwolves was more than just a defeat. It was like a broken mirror reflecting the vulnerabilities that surfaced in a team that, for years, was seen as nearly invincible. Factors such as emotional wear, accumulating injuries, inconsistency from the more experienced players, and an imbalance in the roster combined to form a storm that extinguished hopes for another title run. Leaving the court, faces bore the weight of frustration. No one seemed more affected than Draymond Green, a veteran known for his intense passion and also his moments of emotional outburst. He struggled to contain his disappointment. Meanwhile, off the court, the criticism intensified, echoing in the mind of a competitor who for years was the beating heart and emotional soul of the team. However, even with the visible turbulence, something different was happening behind the scenes, a strategic silence that contrasted with the noise of the defeats. A phone call was made. A name was spoken like a hope lingering in the air. In the franchise's offices, away from the public eye, discussions began to surface. A bold idea was thrown into the air. Was it possible, even remotely, to bring back a figure who, for 3 seasons, represented the pinnacle of excellence, offensive power, and total dominance? An athlete who became the key piece in winning titles between 2016 and 2019. That name, laden with history and glory, was still among them: Kevin Durant. Durant, who shared the court with Curry and Green, leaving a legacy that includes 2 championships and 2 Finals MVP awards, left in search of new challenges, but his connection to the Warriors was never completely severed. Discreetly, talks took place. In the final moments of the February trade window, Golden State sought to reassess the chance of bringing Durant back home, an attempt mixing strategy, emotion, and perhaps a bit of desperation. Rekindling the flame of that legendary trio could be the spark to break the stagnation and return to being a dominant team. However, the response was not positive. Away from cameras and flashes, Durant made it clear he was not willing to move at that moment. His desire was to remain where he was, despite the difficulties faced. Despite the rejection, the Warriors' management knew the attempt was worth it. Opportunities like this don't come every day, and every closed door could mean the end of a cycle. While San Francisco digested this refusal, a drama was unfolding with the Phoenix Suns. The desert team, which on paper had a star-studded roster, saw its season crumble. With Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal forming a trio that theoretically had everything to shine, reality was cruel. The Suns didn't even make it to the play-in tournament, let alone the playoffs. A resounding disappointment. The impact was so strong that changes were swift. Coach Mike Budenholzer was fired, exposing the chaos engulfing the team. Then came the news that shook the NBA. Durant could be available for trade next summer. This news reignited interest in San Francisco. Renowned ESPN journalist Shams Charania confirmed that serious negotiations were underway, reigniting debates among fans and experts. Bringing Durant back ceased to be a nostalgic dream and became a real possibility, albeit full of challenges and tough decisions. Even at 36 years old and with a significant injury history, Durant remains one of the league's most productive players. In his last season, he averaged 26.6 points, 6 rebounds, and 4.2 assists per game, with impressive efficiency. More than half of his shots made, 43% from three-point range, and nearly 84% on free throws. With only 1 year left on his contract, Durant represents both a risk and a hope. The risk comes from age and physical wear. The hope comes from his ability to continue being one of the most lethal and intelligent athletes on the court. Given this, Andy Bailey from Bleacher Report suggested an ambitious package to try to bring Durant back. Jonathan Kuminga, Buddy Hield, Moses Moody, Brandon Podziemski, and a 2027 first-round draft pick would be offered in exchange for the star. A bold proposal mixing pragmatism and emotion, forcing management to weigh whether it's worth betting everything short-term, giving up the future. Kuminga is about to become a restricted free agent and his value has been growing. Podziemski has shown versatility and intelligence, and Moody continues to develop. Buddy Hield, recently arrived, offers immediate firepower on offense. Giving up these young talents and a future pick represents a huge risk. But on the other hand, Durant's return means having a player capable of transforming an offense and completely altering the team's dynamics. And what if Durant wasn't the only option? Behind the scenes, another huge name started being talked about: Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Milwaukee Bucks star is at a decisive moment in his career. After years trying to rebuild the roster around him without success, his patience seems to be running out. The departure of Damian Lillard and recent collective failure have left the franchise in a delicate situation. Sources close to the NBA scene indicate that a trade involving Giannis is close to happening. For the Warriors, this possibility is extremely attractive. Giannis is younger than Durant, still at the peak of his athletic abilities, and could be the cornerstone of a new era. However, the price would be high, possibly even higher than acquiring Durant. A deal involving Giannis would require almost the same package of young talents, plus enormous financial and logistical efforts. The presence of players like Curry, Green, and Jimmy Butler still gives identity and power to the roster, but age weighs on everyone. The window to win another title is open but increasingly narrow. Therefore, the decisions to be made carry the weight of a legacy. Curry, the central figure of the team, publicly expressed his confidence in the current core. For him, if everyone had been healthy, the Warriors could have advanced much further this season. He bets on chemistry, shared history, and built cohesion. But even Curry recognizes that time waits for no one in the NBA. The next steps of management will determine if the franchise continues chasing titles or begins preparing for an inevitable transition. Reuniting with Durant would be a return to past glory. Betting on Giannis, a leap toward the future, and maintaining the team as it is, a demonstration of faith in the process and continuity. Each decision carries risks and opportunities, and in the middle of it all, there is the fan base, torn between nostalgia for what was and hope for what might come. The question remains clear: pursue the past in search of another title or bet on a future with pieces still to be fully established. This decision will not be simple. The clock stops for no one. While the NBA keeps its frantic pace, in the heart of San Francisco, time seems to take on a different dimension. It weighs heavily. Every passing second brings the next season closer, but also limits the space for reflection, negotiations, and decisions that can change the franchise's fate. In the current scenario, the Warriors' management knows that the physical and emotional wear of players like Curry, Green, and Jimmy Butler is not just a medical concern, but a clear sign that the cycle is nearing its end. What remains is the question: keep the core, bet on the maturation of young talents, or dive into a revolution that could shake the team's foundations, for better or worse. In the case of a trade for the return of the star who marked a golden era, the impact would be immediate. The chemistry, already known and tested in the golden years, could resurface, but old wounds, especially among the team's leaders, have not completely healed. Reconciliation between veterans who once had their clashes will be as crucial as any contractual deal. On the other hand, the arrival of a new giant, with a different playing style and a unique personality, would imply a radical transformation of the model Kerr has always sought to implement. Giannis is not just a standout player. He is a force of nature, demanding deep tactical adaptations and a complete redesign of routines and strategies. His inclusion in the roster, although fascinating in theory, could trigger a painful and unpredictable adjustment period. And the most delicate part, while these major negotiations take shape away from the spotlight, the pressure on the young players intensifies. Players like Kuminga and Moody, who carry the hope of the future on their shoulders, feel the weight of uncertainty. The possibility of being traded at any moment, seeing their efforts undone in the name of immediate ambition, is a mental and emotional challenge that cannot be underestimated. Still, amid this turmoil, some points remain firm. Stephen Curry, with his measured demeanor and quiet leadership, is the pillar sustaining the team's morale. He knows that for any plan to work, more than talent is needed. Unity is necessary. and that unity is far from guaranteed in a scenario of major changes. Draymond Green, for his part, faces his own dilemma. His temperament, which has often been both fuel and conflict, now needs to transform into a bridge and stability. For him, the moment is one of maturity, to become the link connecting past and future, veterans and rookies, stars and fans. And the fan? Between the nostalgia of conquered titles and the anxiety for what is to come, lives a mix of hope and apprehension. The crowd wants to see their heroes shine, but also understands that sport is made of cycles. The challenge is to accept the transition without losing faith. Meanwhile, the league watches. Every Warriors move reverberates in every corner of professional basketball. Rivals prepare to react, adjust their strategies, and await the unfolding of a storyline that could redefine the balance of power. In the negotiation arena, every call, every proposal, and every meeting is a decisive moment. A single yes can trigger a revolution, change the narrative, and rewrite the team's history. But what is clear is that whatever the choice, it will not be simple, nor unanimous, nor without costs. The Warriors' decision will not just be about signing a player or keeping a roster, it will be about choosing an identity, defining a legacy, and above all, facing the future with courage. The silence surrounding the franchise now is more than a pause. It is the calm before the storm, the moment when fate waits to be sealed. And when the phone rings, whoever answers will face the greatest crossroads in recent basketball history. Behind the scenes, conversations have already begun. Executives and agents negotiate in secrecy, aware that the window for changes is narrow and that every move can echo for years. Some advocate maintaining the main core, believing that experience and proven chemistry can still bring the team back to the top. Others, more daring, see in the arrival of a heavyweight star the chance for an immediate revolution, a quantum leap to dominate the league again. However, no decision can be made without the players' voices being heard. After all, they are the ones who have to live the daily reality, on and off the court. Curry, Green, and Butler know this. Each carries their own aspirations, limitations, and fears, and now more than ever they need to align their perspectives for the collective to prevail. Amid this whirlwind, the coaching staff led by Steve Kerr is focused on one keyword: adaptation. They know the next season will be a test of resilience, creativity, and leadership, regardless of the roster that takes the court. The challenge is to turn uncertainties into opportunities and potential into results. The fans, who live each game like a battle, feel their hearts race with every news, every rumor, and every confirmation. They know the journey will not be easy, but keep the flame alive. Because deep down in the core of the fan base, there is certainty that the Warriors have always been more than just a team. They are a symbol of struggle, innovation, and passion. And so, between doubts and certainties, strategies and emotions, the future begins to take shape. In the next chapter of the Warriors' story, nothing will be guaranteed, but everything will be at stake. The fate of the franchise, its players, and the city that embraces them now depends on choices made in silence, away from the spotlight. When the storm finally comes, only the strong will endure, and the Warriors, as always, will be ready to fight. When the storm finally arrives, only the strong will endure, and the Warriors, as always, will be ready to fight. But this fight will not be only on the court. It will begin in the meeting rooms, in the silent training sessions before sunrise, in the frank conversations between players and coaching staff, and in the renewed connection with the fans, who have always been the lifeblood of the team. The challenges are many. Adjusting a roster that needs to reinvent itself, overcoming injuries, dealing with media pressure, and above all, keeping the flame of confidence alive within the group. All of this while the basketball world watches, waiting to see if the Warriors will manage to write yet another victorious chapter in their history. The future is open, and with it, the hope of a new cycle of glories, a cycle born from experience, but dependent on boldness. That respects the past, but aims at the future. It is time to rebuild, to unite forces, to believe in the collective potential. The upcoming season will not be just a test of skill, but a test of character. The Warriors know this and accept the challenge, because deep down, the essence of this team has always been the same: the passion for the game, the will to win, and the courage to face any adversity. And so, with hearts pounding strong, the city prepares for another year of emotions, victories, and battles. Because in the end, being a Warrior means never giving up. It means always fighting, and the next season will be the ultimate proof of this truth. The basketball world is buzzing with rumors that could change the NBA landscape. According to recent reports, the Golden State Warriors are quietly moving their pieces to bring in Kai Sotto, a highly promising Filipino center, for the 2025 season. This potential signing would not only be a strategic reinforcement for the roster, but also an important milestone in the sport, further strengthening the team's connection with the growing international fan base, especially in the Philippines. Standing at 218 meters, Kai Sotto is a player who naturally stands out on any team, but his presence is not just about his imposing height. He possesses a set of technical skills that catch the eye of experts and make him a valuable asset for any NBA team. On defense, his reaction time and wingspan allow him to protect the rim efficiently, making it difficult for opponents to finish at the basket. On offense, he goes beyond the traditional center play inside the paint, scoring effectively from mid-range, a skill that has become essential in modern basketball. His ability to space the floor and be an offensive threat from different areas is one of the factors that make him such an intriguing prospect. Kai Sotto's basketball journey is also worth highlighting. Born in the Philippines, a country passionate about the sport, he attracted attention early on due to his height and talent. However, what truly made the difference was his determination to seek professional growth in more competitive leagues. Still young, he left his homeland and ventured into international basketball. His first major experience was in the NBL, Australia's basketball league, where he faced top-tier opponents and proved his value as a key contributor on both defense and offense. His ability to impact games in crucial moments helped him build a solid reputation. After his time in the NBL, he moved on to Japan, playing in the B-League, where he continued to rise. In the Japanese league, Kai Sotto established himself as one of the top players in the competition, boosting not only his career, but also the visibility of Filipino basketball on the global stage. His presence in the league helped open doors for other talents from his homeland, showing that a future in the NBA was possible. With each step in his career, Kai Sotto became not just a promising player, but also a symbol of perseverance and inspiration for millions of young people who dream of following the same path. His journey reflects the importance of hard work and the constant pursuit of improvement, something that certainly does not go unnoticed by NBA scouts. If signed by the Golden State Warriors, Kai Sotto would have the opportunity to play in a system that values ball movement, agility, and player versatility. The team, which built its identity with a dynamic playing style and efficient shooting, has always felt the need for a dominant center who could reinforce their defense and contribute offensively. With his ability to grab rebounds and quickly start fast breaks, Kai could be a key piece to enhance the Warriors' fast-paced play. Additionally, his defensive presence would help close off spaces and protect the rim better, an area the team needs to improve to remain competitive in the conference. But Kai Sotto's importance to the Warriors goes beyond the technical impact. His arrival would represent an even stronger connection between the franchise and the large Filipino community in the Bay Area, one of the largest outside the Philippines. This would create a cultural and emotional bond with a fan base passionate about basketball, making the team even more global. The presence of a Filipino player on a top NBA team wouldn't just be a sports advancement, but also a symbolic move that highlights the diversity of the league. Kai Sotto would become an ambassador for Filipino basketball on the international stage, showing that his homeland's talent can compete at the highest level. Additionally, his popularity could attract new sponsors and open up new marketing opportunities for the Warriors, increasing the franchise's visibility in the Asian market. With a legion of fans in the Philippines and other countries, Kai Sotto would help further strengthen the team's brand, creating an impact that goes beyond the basketball courts. If you liked the video, Go ahead and leave a like to support and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates on the Golden State Warriors. Hit the bell to get notifications and leave a comment to let us know what you think. Thanks, and see you next time.